Damion, it's been a while since we talked. The last time we were talking, you guys were on your way to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA Division III tournament. A lot has changed since then. Just talk about what life has been like for this program in COVID-19.
Yeah, but that seems like years ago at this point. We've been through so much. I know everyone has been through so much, but our program is doing well right now. We've been really lucky and grateful for the opportunity to have our kids back in school and doing in-person classes, and luckily we've been able to be in practice since October 2nd, so we've been together as a team and getting better. There's been some restrictions in that as we go along, so it wasn't until recently that we were able to go 5-on-5, but our team's been growing and getting better, and I think there's just a lot of relief to have some hope of some potential games on the horizon, and I know our student athletes really deserve that for the amount that they've sacrificed, and I'm really proud of their resilience just through all of this. I think as an adult, you can gain a whole lot of hope just from the amount of resilience that you see from these young student athletes going through this kind of adversity that we're all going through.
Now, we do have a couple of games this weekend. Before we talk about those, just talk a little bit about the restrictions, the differences, the things you had to adjust over the course of training this fall. How might that have helped you?
Yeah, I think that there were some really good things that came out of the restrictions that I may not have, been aware of had we not had them. For example, when we started, we were restricted to only 5 guys on a side of a court, so we'd have to have separate groups, and basically for most of the fall I've been running 2 practices a day, so half of my roster for the first hour to hour and a half, and then my second half of my roster for another hour and a half. And there's been some good things that come out of that. Honestly, everybody gets a whole lot of attention. It's closer to what you get with individual skill work, even though we've worked in team concepts. But when you don't have guys having to sub in and out, people are able to play different positions. People are able to get a lot of time and individual coaching. So there's been some really good things that came out of the restrictions, to the point that I would actually employ some of those tactics in an early season practices going forward, where we might do half a roster together, so that you get that kind of attention. So it's funny how God works like that. You discover some things that you, if you weren't forced to, wouldn't have ever thought of. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be doing that necessarily in December, but for some early season things, it was really good.
So this weekend we've got Lewis Clark State at home in a couple of exhibition games, a very good NAIA program. Talk about some of the challenges they'll present.
They're a great program, very good team, senior laden team. They've got a really dynamic point guard who can pretty much do everything. He scores, he rebounds, he dishes out 7 assists a game. Their top 3 or 4 guys are all 40% plus 3-point shooters. They have some bigs who aren't good just on the block. They also can step out and shoot the 3. So very skilled team, very well coached. In a lot of ways, to me, I feel like they are what we would face in an NCAA tournament with an elite Division III team. They're really, really good. It's a scholarship school, and they've got some good athletes. So I think it's going to be a great challenge for us. But I'm excited about the opportunity and the matchup. And I know our guys are excited just to get out there and sweat and compete again. And our first goal, honestly, is just to let these guys run and have some of the joy of competition back, because it's been so long without it.